Live from CCA Florida headquarters in Orlando, Florida. It's the second edition of Coastal Social, and tonight is all about the art of fishing with your host, Brian Gorski and Lee Dickinson. On tonight's episode, we have live appearances from Guy Harvey, Wyland, Harry Chin, Steve Whitlow, Captain Blair Wiggins, Captain Mike Anderson, and many more. Now, here are your hosts, Brian and JD.
Well, welcome, everybody. I don't know where they got those pictures, JD. Well, I know where they got you.
I know where they got them.
But hey, everybody, I want to welcome you to CCA Florida's second Coastal Social, The Art of Fishing. And as our announcer mentioned, we've got JD Dickinson with us. He is our CCA Florida State Chairman of the board. He's a volunteer, has been for many, many years, past chairman of our Habitat Committee. So welcome, JD. Thank you for helping us out tonight.
Thanks, Brian. It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to this event tonight. I don't need to tell you why we're doing this. I'll let you explain it. But to me, having the support of artists like we have featured here tonight and the fishing guides as well is really a huge part of the history of CCA Florida. The fishing guides in particular, they live the fishing and conservation lifestyle on a daily basis. They've supported us for decades. They're just a huge part of our fishing community in the state of Florida. And the artists, I mean, as fishermen, we're all kind of romantics at some point, and so we love to see somebody paint something beautiful about the stuff that we love, and we're really appreciative of their support over the years, as I know you are, Brian.
Absolutely. Thank you, JD. And yes, this social is going to be a little bit different than the one we did about a month ago. This one, the entire auction is a silent auction. So you see the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Follow those instructions, and here it is big and bold for you. You can do it either from your smartphone or from your home computer. If you're on your smartphone, all you have to do is text Art of Fishing 20 to 76278, and from your home computer, go to artoffishing.givesmart.com, and then you can bid on everything that you see there. And this all came to fruition because we had some great art that we have on our walls here at the CCA headquarters, and we hate to part with it, but we're here to raise money, and unfortunately, as you know, we haven't been able to do our normal fundraising, so this is a new twist for us. And I tell you what, it's just amazing the participation that we got from the artists and the guides that have been supporting us for years. And so everybody knows the winning bids between the artist originals as well as the guided fishing trips will be split 50-50 with CCA and the artist / fishing guide. So we're trying to give back to those that have been supporting CCAs for so many, many years. And before we get rolling into it, I'm sorry, go ahead, JD.
I was going to say, how long does the silent auction go, Brian?
That's a great question. The silent auction actually started this morning at 8 a.m. and it's going to run until 8 p.m. on Sunday. So we're asking everybody to please share this feed, like it, tag your friends, create a watch party, do all those things, comment in the comment section because we can see those. We'll get some of those comments thrown up on the screen. And everybody that comments, likes, shares, you name it, will be in the running for our couch prizes, our raffle at the end of the broadcast. So be sure to do that. Like, share, comment, and hopefully you'll win something at the end of the evening. And so we've got some videos. We got some live feeds from our guests. We got some great special guests. So please stick with us. But I'd like to introduce one more member of our cast this evening, who many of you will recognize from attending our banquets throughout the state, the lovely Miss Gretchen. There she is.
Hi, everybody.
And hey, Gretchen, she was so kind to drive all the way up here, and she's going to be playing Vanna White for us tonight. And, we have the perfect person to play Vanna White, because back in the day, I don't know when, because we don't want to age her, but she actually won a look-alike contest with Vanna White. I don't know which one is which, but she won. Gretchen, you got to be careful what you post on social media, girl, because we got it. And yes, Vanna is the one in the black jacket, but I mean, you can hardly tell those two apart.
Did you know that? I'm going to kill him right now.
So now I got her nice and red and blushed. I love it. Normally she makes me blush, but this time I got you, girl.
They will dig up the dirt. They will dig up the dirt.
All right. Moving right along while Gretchen gets her color back. We can't do any of the things that we do here at CCA without our sponsors. Obviously, I got to thank all the people that participated in tonight's event. But look at this list. Contender, Yamaha, Maverick. This list of sponsors. These are the top of the top in the marine industry, and we're very lucky and blessed to have them on board. So we thank all of them for their generous support, and they've been supporting us for years and years, some close to 20 years. Actually, Maverick Boat Group, over 30 years of participation within CCA Florida. So thank you to all of our state sponsors. Hey, JD, you about ready to get rolling and talk about some art and some great fishing trips?
Let's rock it. Everybody that's on right now, you're going to have a chance over the next 45 minutes or so to hear from some of the top guides across the state and some of the best marine artists in the world. Some of the art that we have available tonight, just the one that's behind Gretchen, that was painted by Guy Harvey. It's an original. It's been in private hands. You'll hear from the owner. Since the late 1980s, it has never been available. We have a number of pieces like that. So this is really a tremendous opportunity to the extent that whoever wants to bid on it is not here tonight. We want everybody to forward this. We want to get the word out there. This auction is going to go through the weekend. There really are some spectacular pieces, and we're hoping to get the word out on that, Brian.
Absolutely, JD. Thank you very much. And hopefully everybody has a cold beverage to enjoy the evening tonight. JD's got his. Gretchen's is hidden somewhere back there, I'm sure. But let's go ahead and get started. And we've got two awesome pieces from he's a household name, everybody. You know him, Dr. Guy Harvey. And we have the pleasure of having Charlie Foreman with us tonight. He's the owner of these two pieces, and he's graciously donated those to us tonight. So, Charlie, welcome, my friend.
Well, it's good to be here. I wish it was a real party, but I've got a rum, and I hope everybody else does, so drink up and bid heavily, okay?
Yes, sir.
Need the money.
Well, Charlie, I want to thank you for helping us put this together and for sharing a couple of really amazing Guy Harvey pieces that you have. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit, and the viewers that are on right now, about those pieces and how they came to be and how they came to be in your hands.
Sure. Let me just digress for a second because I wanted to thank all of the artists who have participated here tonight. And it's amazing to me how involved I was with that and giving and fishing and raffles and all of the various fundraisers since the 70s, that you have 10 artists on here tonight, and I only know 2 of them personally, but they're wonderful people, and all of the artists have been really a mainstay of auctions for CCA, IGFA, you name it, and Billfish Foundation, all of them. But I know, Wyland's going to be on. I know Carrie Chen's going to be on, and they'll be spectacular. And the other folks, thank you for contributing. I'd like to thank Guy Harvey. I know he's going to appear and help out and push, and he always does. He has for years and years. I got together with him in 1985, and there hasn't been a year that Guy hasn't tried to help fishing, help raise money for both research as well as the pack stuff. I want to talk about the pack later because that's my bread and butter. And I'd like to mention a few. Stanley Meltzoff, who no longer with us, and probably maybe the greatest fine art painter who painted fish from New York. And we had the friends of mine, Renee Headings, Randy Buck, John Carroll Doyle, Kerry Chen, who's going to be on Wyland, Kent Olberg, Don Ray. Those people have just bent over backwards to help fishermen. And I'm not an artist, okay, and I'm not a captain. I got into this stuff because I wanted to fish and go do it, and just appreciate how much those people have done. Tonight, I don't know which one would you like to start with on the paintings?
Well, I think what we'll do first, if you don't mind, Charlie, and just so everybody watching knows, we've got Gretchen, but we also have Zach and Sarah, regional directors with CCA Florida, who are going to help, and they're going to move the camera around. So they're going to give close up so you can see the detail and all the different paintings that we're featuring tonight. But before we do that, let's go ahead and hear from your good friend, Guy Harvey.
All right.
Hi there, I'm Guy Harvey, coming to you from my studio here in Grand Cayman. Thank you very much for tuning in and for your support of the CCA and ocean conservation generally. The two original pieces of artwork that have been donated to the auction were done way back in the late 1980s. They are currently owned by Charlie Foreman, who is my business manager for many years as we grew the business in Florida from those days. The first piece, which is a really large piece, 4 feet by 10 feet long, with 3 sailfish and a school of barjacks, was done around 1987-88. And the other piece was done a little earlier. It's a smaller piece of a blue marlin chasing some dolphin fish or dorados. It was done for the 1986 Fort Lauderdale Billfish Tournament. So we're going way back. This is 30 plus years ago. So in terms of value, they are priceless to me. The larger piece, of course, should attract some very hefty bids, and I thank you for your generosity. So just go at it. I can't really give you a valuation, so to speak. It's important to support the CCA because it involves many fishermen around the country. There are different chapters in different states, and they all perform a very valuable function in kind of coordinating the conservation research and general compliance with fishing regulations relevant to all the different states. Remember that without a healthy resource, none of us would be out fishing. So the maintenance and the conservation of fish stocks is of paramount importance. So I want to wish you a wonderful evening. Have a great event, raise lots of money, and keep the fish in the ocean. Good luck and tight lines.
And how about it? The master from the master himself. I couldn't said it any better myself. So, Charlie, why don't you start off and tell us how you came to know Guy?
Okay. I wanted to get involved in fishing and know great captains and great mates and so forth, and had a slightly older good friend of mine, Scott Boyd, who had taken over his father's business, Bill Boyd's Bait and Tackle, in Fort Lauderdale. And I got in, helped Scott reorganize the store. My wife who's with me, she and I did that and became part owners of that, still being run today by his daughter, Scott's daughter, Stephanie. Scott's no longer with us, but Scott's girlfriend, she was a freelance journalist that covered the fishing tournaments, marlin tournaments throughout the Caribbean. And she came back and told Scott, I have this unbelievable artist that I met, and I believe it was at the Montego Bay tournament, but it may have been Port Antonio or Ocho Rios, and said, we've got to do something for him. So Scott said, fine, have him bring some artwork. We'll get it in the IGFA auction. Guy came up in, I believe, 1985. Could have been January of 86, but I think it was 85. Stayed at my brother's home in West Palm, and he went to the IGFA auction with a couple of pieces of his art, which Scott got in at the last minute, and the art, of course, being fabulous and a very great illustration of fish, something, people had never really seen before. They sold for more than Guy made in a year as a professor at the University of West Indies, which tied into his professor who reviewed his thesis and approved his doctorate. What he told him, he said, because it was illustrated, you make a great marine scientist, but you need to be a painter. And I think that the light went off there, and we started in it's funny, that one on the right there from the Billfish tournament in 1986. That year, there was no Guy Harvey Enterprise. There were no Guy Harvey sportswear. The only place you could go and buy a Guy Harvey t-shirt was at Bill Boyd's bait and tackle shop in Fort Lauderdale. We had one image, one shirt, and everybody was very skeptical because of the cost. And after 6 months, unair conditioned, dusty bait and tackle store, we sold 3,600 of them. And suddenly the light went off and people said, aha, this could be a great thing. They got me involved at that point to do all of the licensing and general management in 1987, that summer. That particular piece that you had up there a second ago, if it has the date on it, and that makes it's very, very unique, because that was before Guy Harvey was reproducing any of his art. We didn't start that till later. And so it's actually dated, and it's dated to a time when there was only the t-shirt being sold out of Bill Boyd's Bait and Tackle. Another very unique thing about this, those dolphins don't look like they do in the back of the boat, right? You put them in the back of the boat and you see the green and the yellow, the colors, you see all that stuff. And I asked Guy about that. Well, what's the story with this? Wondering why he had painted the marlin and the dolphin to look that way. And he said, well, when you're in the water with them, that's how they look. I didn't know that. I had never been in with free swimming marlin and with the Dorado, and actually didn't do that till I started doing all the video in 1993. But when I got in the water, I saw just what you see in that painting. There's no artistic license. That's absolutely a pure rendering of predator-prey interaction and what it really looks like before they get too excited. When they get really excited, they start turning black. And
Charlie,
I think it's unique.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, as you mentioned before, not only are these original Guy Harveys, but they are, as you heard Guy Harvey say in his video, these are over 30 years old, some of his first pieces. And the marlin piece especially, you're not going to find a Guy Harvey that's dated anywhere. So, this is super special. Charlie, we can't thank you enough for participating and donating these to this auction. It's a great gesture on your part, shows your commitment to the marine resources that you love, that we all love, that are looking and watching this broadcast tonight. And if I had the money and if I had the wall space, boy, that mural would be mine.
Oh, yeah. Let me give you a word on the sailfish piece, okay?
Okay.
We got time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a couple more minutes.
That was the 80s when we had just gotten everything started. And some of you older folks out there may remember, but Raleigh Working and Jerry Dunaway and Deborah Dunaway and a few other people were all trying to catch the world record sailfish, Pacific sailfish, on light line. And we were doing that out of Flamingo, Costa Rica for the most part. And why it was really special is, to me, I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. My grandfather moved there in 1910. I fished my whole life, and that was sort of the premier species to try to fish with in Fort Lauderdale. You could catch sailfish from time to time. Marlin was kind of beyond most people's reach. Guy, it was incredibly important to him because he had fished his whole life for blue marlin in Jamaica. but sailfish are incredibly rare there. And maybe there's 100 blue marlin for every sailfish. So suddenly we were over in Flamingo, and we were on Reba zones, and saw maybe a square mile of bait and birds diving on it and tuna crashing through it. And you could look around, and at times you'd see 200 or 300 sails sticking up. And I just asked guys, I said, could you paint me a painting of the sailfish, not with a real predator-prey interaction, but just showing them like they do cruising there. They filled up, they've eaten those fish, they're just moving along. And I've been involved with all these artists, represent a lot of them, and over the time learned a lot about fine art. And I think that's one of the greatest paintings that a guy ever did.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm seeing the comments come through and that thing. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it is massive. It is almost 5 foot tall and 10 feet wide, or 10 feet long. So it is absolutely incredible. So hopefully somebody will end up going home with it.
Yeah. And let me close by saying this. Why did I donate really $100,000 painting that's hanging in my living room for the past 30 years? And the other unique piece from the Fort Lauderdale Billfish Tournament. And the answer is this. The CCA needs money to represent you, and they need it now. I have spent the last 42 years of my life representing people dealing with government on land issues where they were denied permits, turned down, couldn't use their land, told they had to close, what happened, this, that. I've seen all that stuff. Most people haven't. In the last 6 weeks to 2 months, you all have seen that. You've been told that you can't go to the beach. You can't launch a boat, okay? You can't fish. You can't go in the park, okay? Government can take all those rights away from you. They can shut down Biscayne Bay. They can say there's not going to be any fishing within 5 miles of the Atlantic coast of Florida. They can say the Gulf is closed, okay? You've got to have a voice, and I hate to say it, but it's all about money. It costs money, lobbyists, it costs money to get it done. There's an old saying, my great-grandfather was a congressman, said, politics is kind of like banking. If you don't make a deposit, you can never make a withdrawal. And people have to understand that. So please get out your checkbooks and support all the people tonight and write some big checks. I put in a big piece, and I hope we get a big check for it. Thank you.
Well, Charlie, we can't thank you enough, my friend. And if you're interested in the Guy Harvey pieces, those are items number 1 and number 2 in the silent auction. And again, Charlie, thank you, buddy. I will be in touch, and can't thank you enough.
Thanks so much for the kind words and for your actions, Charlie. CCA doesn't operate without folks like you.
Good luck, everyone.
Thanks, Charlie. Now that's just incredible. We've never seen anything like that at a CCA banquet before. So once in a lifetime opportunities here, folks, but we're going to keep on rolling, and we're going to move and invite Mr. Kerry Chen to join us. Another top artist. World.
Hi, Brian.
Yes, sir. How are you, Kerry?
Hey, Kerry, how are you?
I have a little bit of static here. I'm in Palm Beach at home, and we have a lot of thunderstorms here, but I'm going to try to hear everything.
You're doing okay. We're doing okay with you. You're doing just fine.
We're all good, and we've got 5 originals of yours in the auction tonight. We've only got 1 here in the studio, so we're going to ask you to tell us a little bit about these pieces. We've got the first one here. It's got all the fish species in it, and plus 1, huh?
Okay, so that one, there's a little story behind that. Somebody commissioned me to do a painting like that one right there, and he had a girlfriend that was young. He's an older gentleman, and he had a girlfriend, and I painted it, and never heard back from him. So it's been sitting there for a while. So, I kind of put in all the different species, all the different game fish in there, and it's a pretty big piece. It's 5 feet by 6 feet, and it's a pretty spectacular. I don't have too many originals sitting around, and that's one of them that is just like in the forefront of the whole living room. So, if anybody wants them, there's hardly any originals that I have.
Well, that's a beautiful piece. Maybe the guy's girlfriend wasn't his girlfriend by the time you were finished with the piece.
I love this piece, Gary.
You know what? That's a smaller piece. I think it's only about 3 feet by 2 feet. Just makes a good spot to put anywhere in the house, really. And the long feature makes it nice to be above the TV or something like that. And it's very simple, the sailfish coming after some lures and a couple in the background there. So
yeah, this one, that picture really shows how, Carrie, I think I've always thought you're a master of the blues, man. Just that underwater blue that's really hard to really pinpoint, and you super nailed it in this one.
Yeah, I try to create a little bit of 3D. So, you have the sailfish in front and everything pushed in the back there.
Yeah,
it
you
looks
nailed
like
it.
You can jump into the painting. So that one's a very simple one, and it's quite affordable. It's a 3x2 and it's framed and everything. Beautiful frame on it. Comes ready to hang.
And I got to tell you, all the artwork that we're looking at tonight, looking at it on the screen, they're beautiful. But just wait till you see them in person. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yes, that's correct. In person, it looks a lot different.
Yeah.
So this one here, I hardly have any originals, which is a good thing. Every time I do one, it's out the door. So in a way, it's good because it has value. And this one has been sitting down for quite a while, and it's framed and everything. And it's an older piece with it's acrylic on paper.
Okay.
It's very rare that I have any of those.
Wow.
So when I say older piece, it might be more nostalgia, and the value might be more. So those are 2 mahi right there. And that also is acrylic on paper. Older originals we did for a t-shirt line, and it's a lot of detail with the yellow fins, and it's a nostalgia painting also.
That's great. Thank you, Carrie. And then we do have one here in the studio, and this is a painting that you did for us. Gosh, it's got to be at least 10 years ago, if not more, called The Circle of Life. And it's got every species, every species imaginable on there. Tell us about that one.
That took a long time. Yeah, that's a lot of detail, a lot of work. That should get some good funds right there. It was my heart and soul was into that painting right there.
It's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I want to say that I've been supporting CCA for a long time. I don't want to reveal my age, but it's been. You remember the Breakers back?
Oh yeah.
Were you there? With Scott Nichols.
Yes. That was early on in my career in CCA, and the regional directors just don't understand nowadays. And it was a shock for me because when I came to work for CCA, it was to get out of a suit and tie. I was tired of wearing those. And then I came here, and we come down, and we're going to set up for the Palm Beach banquet at the Breakers, and then it's time to change, and we normally do khakis and an AFCO shirt. Oh no, we had to change into a suit and tie.
I know, and he never wanted to come to a Palm Beach banquet again. It was terrible.
One of the best events I've ever been to.
Yeah. Those were really great years. Those were really great years at the Palm Beach chapter. The Breakers is it's a tough venue to beat, to be honest with you. And I remember you there, Carrie. Some of the first ones that I went to, I think I was only 30 years old, but You were there and your art was featured there. So we're certainly very appreciative of your long-term support. We're big fans of your art. And I hope you've been staying busy during this downtime. It's probably a good time to paint.
Very, very, very busy. You know, whether it's quarantine or not, we're doing the same thing, painting at home, same thing. Nothing has
Awesome.
changed.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Carrie. You know, if you want to bid on any of the Carrie's
I wish
10
you guys
originals, they're items 10 through 14. Check those out, and you know, follow Carrie on Facebook. It's amazing, all the tournaments that he participates in around the world. It'll make you very, very jealous, I'll tell you that. But Carrie, you've been supporting CCA ever since I've been around, and that's a very long time. So we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much for your generosity, and we hope to see you real soon.
Thank you. I grew up in South Florida, in Miami, so you know I'm a big supporter.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, buddy. That's just great. Carrie's always been really fun to hang out with. JD, you know, you've been around him quite a bit.
Yeah, his social media feed often has some very nice scenery.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say that, and I'll leave it at that.
Indeed. We're gonna switch gears here just a touch, and we're gonna go from artists to captains. So we've got the pleasure of having Captain Blair Wiggins, the Mogan Man from Addictive Fishing, joining us live from his home. There he is.
He's going to unmute it. Unmute it. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. We got you, Blair.
And give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, well, you can hear me. I can't hear you guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. That's a bad static. It is unmuted.
Can you hear us now?
I don't know what's going on. I can't
You can't talk.
Still can't hear us?
Tell you what, guys, let me give me just a second. It went out while everybody else was talking. I can get it right back. I got to disconnect real quick.
No problem. We're good.
Well, okay.
So Blair's going to talk
here, but wait. I'm going to talk real quickly if you don't mind.
Sure, go right ahead.
We're going to talk about habitat with Blair because you know he's obviously a celebrity fishing captain. He's got a long-standing show, but he grew up on the Indian River Lagoon. He loves that area of Florida, and he's got a real cool, cutting-edge habitat restoration project that he came to us with, and we jumped on board and tried to get involved just as quickly as we can. And it's about. Can you hear us now, Blair?
Yeah, I got you now. Sorry.
All right. I was just getting started talking about your clam restoration project, which we'd love to hear from you on. But you know, everyone, welcome Captain Blair Wiggins, the host of Addictive Fishing, the Mogan Man. Grew up on the Indian River Lagoon. Is a huge fan of all Florida coastal waters and everything conservation. And we're very pleased to work with him on habitat projects.
Not just Florida coastal waters. I mean, any waters I've ever fished, I've had fun. You know, growing up in Cocoa Beach, it was a privilege, really. I mean, the river was so pristine when I was a kid, and just crystal clear. Just the memories I have growing up in Cocoa Beach. You know, everybody always used to ask me, why didn't you ever travel anywhere to go fish? And you know, they asked me, why didn't you ever catch bonefish? I said, why didn't you catch a bonefish? We catch fish to eat up here. So I never really traveled to go catch fish, but we had all the big fish in the world right there. We had 10, 12, 14-pound sea trout, the biggest redfish at the time before they started showing up in other places. And, you know, offshore we had, you know, every species of fish you could think of that migrated through, you know, the Gulf Stream out there basically came through our neck of the woods as well. Yeah. So I never really had to travel. We always had fish coming to us, traveling back and forth, and the biggest sea trout, the redfish in the world. But the pictures you see in there now of the clam project going on, I went to Lisa Fitzgerald. Oh God, I guess it's 2.5 years ago now. And I said to Lisa, what can we do? I know you're involved with CCA. You know the right people to talk to. And she put me in touch with everybody up top in CCA, Frank. And I mean, I can't believe how quick it happened. But, within the first year, we had 250,000 clams that they put into the north end of Mosquito Lagoon, and they are doing absolutely wonderful right now. And this coming up on the 26th of this month, we're going to be doing another release. We haven't been able to do the release because of the COVID virus. They had all the schools closed down, so we did have to basically put the clam releases on hold for a while because we couldn't get out there and get it done. But coming up on the 26th, it looks like we're going to have the proximity of somewhere. We have 6 million that we're going to be hopefully to pull from. But we're
Did you say 6 million?
Yes.
Did you say 6 million? Okay.
6
I just want
million
everybody to hear
A
that.
lot of clams.
That's a lot of clams.
One thing I wanted to share with you guys, I know it was online, at the first of the year, or last of the year, but MRC granted us the 2019 Project of the Year for the Indian River Lagoon System last year, and that's the trophy, basically the symbol that they sent us. But it says a lot for what the project does and what CCA helped do. My sponsors, as far as them donate, Starbright put in a big chunk of money to help this thing get off the ground, and it's off the ground. It's a dream come true for me. The clams, they just did a check on them. I talked to Dr. Todd the other day and yesterday, and he said that the clams that they put in the water in December, in December, are doing great. They put the protective covers over them so that the stingrays and the black drum and the redfish and everything doesn't eat them. But they're doing great. We're fixing to move those a little further south, and a big project going on the 26th. We're going to be filming it and everything, so
That's awesome.
Year.
Yeah,
It's definitely a dream come true, and couldn't have done it without CCA. So, and anybody that bids on this trip tonight, I know I heard you earlier say that you're going to give the guides the money as well. I want my half of the money to go back to CCA, so you guys get everything as far as the trip goes.
Thank you.
And whoever bids on the trip, bid high. I'm not getting a dime, but y'all get the
Thank you, Blair.
I'd love to say how proud we are to be involved in the clam project. I mean, it won the award because it deserved it, but it's very, very unique in terms of habitat projects that CCA Florida is involved in. I spent a lot of my time over the last 6 years being involved in coordinating and implementing habitat projects for CCA Florida. This is the first clam project we've ever done. Do a lot of oyster stuff, it's another filter feeder, but clams filter a different part of the water column. They are sort of an underappreciated part of the ecosystem there, particularly in Bear's neck of the woods, and so it's cool. And it's one of a kind, and we're breaking new ground with this project.
Yeah. So thank you, Blair. Bid on fishing, an unforgettable fishing trip with Captain Blair. It's item number 74. And Blair, we appreciate you, everything that you do, not only for the waterways, but for CCA, and of course taking time out of your evening tonight to join us.
Well, Brian, without you guys, the clam project would just be still a bunch of guys sitting around a table, what can we do, what can we do? So without you guys, this project would definitely never been off the ground. So I want to say thanks to y'all and everybody that got involved. Kevin McCabe, producing all the videos that we did for the clam project going on. And I mean, it's been a dream come true for me. Rough couple months here in the past, but
yes, sir.
Things are looking a lot better.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, buddy.
Matter of fact, anybody that bids on any trip, anybody that's going in the Indian River, we just were filming in there a couple of days ago with John Lulay, and wait till you see this fish. It's a 10+ pound trout that ate about 5 feet away from the boat, a little DOA cow lure, and you get to see everything, the whole thing. It's a giant trout. So
wow,
you get to see
that's
feel
awesome.
like a little kid on that one. But the big fish are still there. You're gonna put a little time to catch them, but they're definitely still in the Mosquito Lagoon, Indian River Lagoon system here.
Fantastic. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Blair.
Appreciate y'all.
Be good.
Well, that's awesome.
It is, JD. I mean, it's incredible to be involved in such a great project, and so many throughout the state. But that's one of our big projects that's on the horizon and been going on.
It is, and it's just cool that someone like Brett Blair comes to CCA with something like that, and then we all kind of put our heads together and figure out how to make it happen. It's not the first time that's happened. It won't be the last, but it's one of the coolest that I've seen so far.
Indeed. Well, let's switch our focus back to art real quick. We have got, I think, 7 or 8 original Sumi E is what is the technique by the world-renowned Weiland. You know, when you only have one name, you're famous. This gentleman has literally painted acres and acres. That's how they measure the volume of his painting, by acres. He's painted cruise ships, murals that are acres wide, and we were very honored to have him and have so many of his works in our auction tonight. So we're going to show you a couple of those that we have in studio. But JD, we've also got what makes these even more special is in late February, before everything shut down, Weiland actually came up to our Manatee County banquet, and he painted live for us. And he sat there on the side of the stage. He shipped his ink in and the paper, and he sat there and he painted. And I think he did 10 or 12 of them. We had a number of people that night that walked away with them. He just said, "Who wants it? First person to raise your hand." And they were $2,500 a piece. And boy, they just kept flying off the shelf. And now we've got them here tonight. So we're excited to see those.
That's pretty awesome. It was really awesome. He was able to complete that many pieces during that event.
Yeah. And he was also gracious enough to pre-record a video for us.
Hi, I'm Weiland. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in and supporting CCA Florida and the Weiland Foundation. I created a series of original Sumi ink paintings to support our 2 nonprofits that are making a difference. Conservation Association of Florida and the Weiland Foundation are working together for clean water and healthy oceans. Good luck bidding today for 1 or more of my original paintings for your art collection. Your support is greatly needed. From all of us, thank you and aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, and we can't. Yeah, we can't thank Weiland enough for that. But here's 2 examples. Everybody can view the rest of them in GiveSmart or on your computers. Again, register at the bottom, and don't forget, tag your friends. Comment in the comment section, and you'll be eligible for prizes at the end of the night. But here we've got 2 different versions of his dolphin. We got the twin dolphins on the left and the single on the right. They're really, really incredible. And as I was telling you before, JD, he painted these live for us. And here's a video of him doing that at the banquet and live in front of almost 1,000 people in Bradenton a couple of months ago.
Yeah. I couldn't do a stick figure in front of 1,000 people.
I couldn't either. And, he just makes it look so easy. And, it's a different type of art, but, I really like it. It's simple, but it's great.
Very striking.
It is.
Beautiful pieces.
And this is a piece here that's in the auction this evening, the humpback whale, which is quite nice. But, we had a blast, and, he's a great guy. I mean, I'd never met him before until February, and he's just so down to earth and just a pleasure to be around, and very generous, of course, as well. So the proceeds from his paintings tonight are going to go half to CCA, and then not the other half to Weiland, but his foundation. That is all about conservation, the health of the oceans, and we're going to start. Looks like we're going to probably partner with him. They've got an educational trailer that they're going to be bringing to Florida for the youth. So we'll be working with them on that. So stay tuned for the educational trailer that'll be coming to Florida sometime, probably late fall. And if you're interested in bidding on any of the Weiland art, those are items 3 through 9 in the silent auction. Thank you, Gretchen. Great job.
Thanks, man.
You got your color back. I'm proud of you. All right, JD, you ready for another captain?
Let's do it. I like talking about fishing.
Okay, this is actually our chapter president, all the way from the Panhandle, the Emerald Coast chapter. His name is Captain Lionel James, and he's got a quick message for us.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Captain Lionel James of Lion's Tail Adventures up here in Destin, Florida. I've been a member and supporter of the CCA for many, many years now. I strongly believe in what they represent and stand for. One, fighting for our fishermen's rights, restoring and restocking our natural resources, and the annual, daily, weekly events they have for our trash cleanup around the Southeast region. I encourage everybody to find out some more information about the CCA, become a member, and join the movement in helping keep our Southeast region, Florida, clean. All right? I appreciate it.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
But where is Lionel based out of, Brian?
So he's based out of Fort Walton, the Fort Walton area. He grew up actually over in Fort Walton. Well, he grew up in Fort Walton Beach as well as Melbourne, and then they moved up to Alaska. So he's fished all of Florida and into Alaska. But after he grew up and he came back down as an adult to start his business back in Fort Walton. So his item is in the live auction. I'm sorry, no live auction, in the silent auction tonight. Again, he's chapter president for us, and you can fish with Captain Lionel James, and that's item number 68.
Yeah, I would just encourage everybody on here and that everybody that watches this to really, when you think about booking a guide in a place that you've never fished before, think about these guides that are supporting CCA Florida, like Captain Lionel James. You know, they got their mind in the right place when it comes to conservation and the future of the resource. And, you know, we have lots of them. We have a network of them around the state. So figure out which guides support CCA Florida and support them.
Yeah. Thank you, JD. Okay, switching back to Art. This is a gentleman that I know very, very well. He's from my neck of the woods over in the Sarasota area, and that is Steve Whitlock.
Hello, Brian. Hey, JD.
Hey, Steve.
Great. Good to be with you guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining.
We were talking a little bit earlier backstage prior to the broadcast, and I knew it'd been a long time, but Steve has been with us, ladies and gentlemen, for right around 20 years.
Yeah.
What did we do? We offered one of your pieces at the Fort Myers banquet.
Yeah, it was actually the second chart I ever painted. It was the Fort Myers Snook. We auctioned it off at Fort Myers.
I remember that day. I don't remember it being that long ago, but
me either.
You're old. Me too.
Yes, I think we're all old.
Yeah, I see more in the rearview mirror and I see through the hood now. So,
but let's see, we've got 4 of your pieces in the auction tonight.
Yeah,
and you know we've got what's really neat about what we have featured from you, Steve, is that it's all a little bit different. This is your newest piece called Man o' War, and I think a lot of people are used to seeing your chart art, which is what puts you on the map. But you'll see in the out of the 4 pieces, there's only 1 piece of chart art. So why don't you tell us about Man o' War, and I'll hush up for a little while.
Well, since I was kind of grounded and my shows were canceled, much like CCA's, I had a little bit of time, and I took this photograph a couple years ago on a grouper trip in the Gulf, and it was a dead slick sea, and there were thousands of man o' war floating around the surface. I mean, you couldn't fish in them without getting stung, basically, on your line and whatnot. So I just leaned over and took a really good close-up shot and decided to paint it. And I wanted to paint it big to make it powerful. It's 42 by 42 frame, and it's an acrylic original. It took me about a month to do it. So
got a little pilot fish under there.
Right out the box, you know.
Yeah, that's neat. That's really, really cool. And you got everybody, you can see it right behind Steve, the one you'll be bidding on, framed up and beautiful. So, you know, Steve's got his life member hat right there, staged perfectly. We appreciate your life membership, Steve. It just not only shows you his additional support of CCA, but why don't you tell us about the that tarpon that's jumping?
That's
a Boca Grande Lighthouse there.
Yeah, the Boca Grande Lighthouse piece. I did it a long time ago. I don't have a date on it. I couldn't remember when I did it, but it was the first piece I ever did for Boca Grande, and it was done originally be designed as a T-shirt for a tournament, but it fell apart. The tournament fell apart, so we ended up not using it for that. But it's actually got a tarpon scale shadow boxed into it that I caught from the fish that's featured in the painting.
Yeah, that's cool.
A scale managed to fall off, so it's in the piece.
Yeah, that's great.
I do that.
Speaking of chart art, let's see, something that's near and dear to my heart, as you know, because I see you down in the Keys every late July and early August. But you've got a spiny lobster piece, I believe.
Yeah, this piece was done in 2003. It's one of maybe a dozen original charts I have. I've done nearly 60. And this one's big. It's 44 by 53 framed. It's an acrylic illustration on top of a real navigational chart of Key West Harbor. And it's framed in a kind of a sand colored frame double mat. It's really nice presentation. It's been out of my house maybe 3 or 4 times since '03, and it hangs in my living room. So it's a special piece for me, and I'm glad we can give it to you guys to do some good with it.
Well, thank you so much. It's totally beautiful. I've always loved your chart art.
Thank you.
And we're really appreciative to have 20 years of your support, Steve.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad to do it. Now, I was raised in the Everglades. My family actually owned the headwaters of the Turner River.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was just a puppy, I lived there for maybe a year and a half. My grandfather ran the Turner River Jungle Gardens at
Oh, my
Turner River.
God. I like the fish up there.
Yeah,
Get
it's
lost up there.
I love that place, and with the park buying it, it's pretty much remained as it was then.
Wow.
What about this one, Steve?
That's another oldie goldie. It's an osprey I did many, many years ago. I was in the Keys, or actually in the Everglades fishing, and came across we were running up a creek and came across that nest, and I shot a quick picture of it and came back and did a painting of it. It's acrylic on canvas. It's a really pretty piece.
How big is that one, Steve?
It's probably 28, 36, something along those lines. I forgot to measure that one, but it's a nice piece. I think the size is on the auction page.
Okay.
Yes, it is indeed. And like I mentioned earlier, Steve, it's so cool because you put chart art on the map as it relates to marine life on chart art, and to be able to have so many different pieces from you is pretty incredible. And we can't thank you enough for your 20 years of support. Again, his life membership to CCA Florida. And if you're interested in bidding on any of the Steve Whitlock originals, they're items 17 through 20 in the silent auction. Again, text Art of Fishing 20 to 76278 to register, or artoffishing20.givesmart.com from your home computer. And Steve, thanks again, buddy. I know I'll see you soon because we don't live too far apart. And give Miss Lynn a big hug for me, please.
You guys have a great night, and thank you for doing this.
You too, buddy.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
See you.
And just a reminder for everyone, if anyone joined before Brian and I were chatting in the beginning, this auction is going to go on through, is it 8 p.m. Sunday night, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you have a couple of days to get your bids in. You got a couple of days to share this with whatever marine art aficionados out in the world that you know. This is kind of a very one-of-a-kind event with some one-of-a-kind items, and let's get the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, JD. And let's keep rolling here. We've got a couple special guests left, and that'll end our program. But right now, we've got another artist who's prepared a video from us, and she's from Panama City, Joyful.
Hey everyone, I'm Joyful Enriquez, and I'm a professional marine wildlife artist based in Northwest Florida. I've been painting for about 8 years and incorporate elements from both Impressionism and Realism to create my unique style. It's really my desire to transport the viewer so that they feel like they are underwater by using oil paints to capture that unique color, light, and movement that you find underwater. I've been inspired by the ocean ever since I was a little girl. From the age of 4 or 5, I was having dreams about being able to swim underwater, breathe, and be able to communicate with animals like whales and dolphins. It's really these dreams that motivated me to move to Florida so that I could live closer to the ocean, become dive certified, and start collaborating with like-minded people who were passionate about the ocean and preserving it for future generations. I hope you enjoy the Painting Marlin Hour and that you join me in helping support the Coastal Conservation Association and their important work. If you want to find out more about me and my work, you can visit me online at www.joyfulfineart.com and on social media platforms at Joyful Fine Art. Thank you so much.
JD, that's a cool piece. We've got that piece here live in the studio, and her art is so different than everybody else's, and there it is right there with the lovely Gretchen.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Brian, I've never had an opportunity to meet her, but wow, that is a heck of a piece. She's got that ability to get that deep blue down, kind of like Carrie does.
Yeah, indeed. And again, these pieces, unfortunately, on camera don't do them justice as they do in person. But she grew up in Michigan, and then she moved down. She always had she always loved sea life, and she moved down to Florida, down to the Panama City area to pursue her master's in fine art. And boy, I tell you what, she mastered it. So
oh my God.
Another,
I love that one.
Yeah, another fantastic specimen from another very, very talented artist. And the detail is just incredible. So if you're interested in bidding on Joyful's original piece of art, that is item number 32 in the silent auction. So don't miss out on that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, JD, we're getting down to it. Our next guest, switching back to the captains, he is a real animal.
That's real animal style right there.
Look at that, huh?
There's a day maker, baby. Oh, look at that.
And we're talking about, he's larger than life. It is Captain Mike Anderson.
Hey, Mike.
How are you, Big Mike?
Hey, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you being with us. We know you got to get up at 4 a.m. because you got a couple of charters tomorrow. So sorry for keeping you up so late. All
right.
You've been such a great supporter over the years. I couldn't even count how many, you probably can't either, how many trips you've donated to CCA. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this trip that we've got up for auction tonight?
Well, we're going to do a full day charter with me. Obviously, it's based on availability, but we'll get you in somewhere, see what you want to catch, what works for you. Here's the thing that hopefully everybody gets. There's a lot of groups out there that want to take away our fishing rights. They want to eliminate our opportunity to be on the water, to do the things that I did with my father and my grandparents, and that I'm doing now with my grandkids and my kids. And to me, there's no greater voice in this game than CCA. And we need everyone that enjoys the beautiful estuaries we have here in Florida. We need everybody to get involved. We need everybody to be a member of CCA. The larger that our voice is, the more likely we are to be heard. If there's only 500,000 of us, with CCA being in Florida and Louisiana and Texas and all the states, with all, the state of Florida being surrounded by water, we should be in the millions of members in Florida alone. So please, I beg you, I've been making my living on the water for 20 years. I'm a CCA life member. I believe in everything that CCA does. All the issues, bringing the redfish hatchery stuff, adding the redfish to our waters, the snook to our waters, working with Tampa Bay Watch on bettering our grass flats, now the clean water issues that we're all working on. My hat's off to Blair Wiggins and you guys getting involved with Blair. I'm a big supporter of Blair's with his clam project as well. These are the actions that we need to support as we enjoy this fishery so much. We got to get behind CCA and make this thing go really, really well so that we can enjoy these estuaries for years to come.
That's very well said, and we're very appreciative for your support, and we love partnering with guides like you that think the way that we do from a conservation standpoint. I'm going to say one thing about this trip with Captain Mike Anderson is that you're on a 25-foot contender bay boat, which is my boat choice. My boat choice. Very nice boat, and we're grateful to Contender for all their support from CCA for the last 20 years.
Absolutely. And hey, Captain Mike, and do you remember the name Sean Guckin from the Pinellas County chapter?
Why do I know that name?
You know that name. He was chapter president down in Pinellas for a number of years. He passed away a little over 2 years ago. Actually, you were at the Pinellas banquet when we did the tribute to him.
Yes,
And we've been working on doing a tribute to Sean because he was so involved for so many years, and that project's actually coming to fruition. And this, it'll be here probably in about a month or so, but it's going to definitely happen before August 1st. But we're thinking sometime early July we'll be creating that artificial reef right off of Anna Maria Island, about 5 miles offshore. And it's going to be a couple 100,000 pounds of concrete rubble, as well as culverts and stuff, prime habitat for fish. And we'll have a nice tetrahedron that will sink with a plaque in memory of Sean. So that's, in your neck of the woods is why I wanted to bring that up. And another great fishing spot. And, just like JD mentioned earlier, the habitat projects that we've done over the past 10 years, we've leveraged the donations that we've received into $5 million worth of habitat projects.
Yeah. So we spend money that CCA raises, but for every dollar that CCA spends on putting habitat in the water in the state of Florida, we got another $5. So we're getting 5 to 1 on the money from the CCA money that we're putting in the water. We've leveraged over almost $900,000 into $5 million. One of the things that we like to talk about a lot, Captain Mike's backyard is Tampa Bay, and he'll attest to this. Tampa Bay is one of the great conservation and habitat restoration stories of the world. Okay, in the 1970s and 80s, it was a cesspit. It was a cesspool. I mean, the water quality was terrible. The seagrass was dying. There was still a fishery there, but it's nothing like it is today. And what Tampa Bay is such a great example of is you can have a massive urban area with millions of people on this estuary, and it can still be a productive estuary, an incredible fishing spot, a place for men and women and families to go out and experience the outdoors in a productive way for many, many generations.
Yes, and I believe that, an area like Tampa that has so much fishing pressure, I believe that's another reason that CCA is so important, especially to my region here, because we got 2.5 million people using this estuary. Yeah. Tampa's the #1 bay boat market in the country. You're talking bay boats, you're talking kayaks, you're talking wade fishermen, paddle boarders, all of our great, bridge fishermen and pier fishermen that are here. I mean, it's an angler's paradise, but if we don't pay attention to the growth and do the conservation efforts right, we won't have it. Now, with that being said, in the 20 years that I've been guiding here, we've had freezes, we've had multiple red tides, and this estuary, because of the work of CCA and Tampa Bay Watch, getting this estuary cleaned up, that's really made all of these things. They were a hiccup and they were bad, and we don't like to see them. But I'm going to go catch fish tomorrow.
Right, that makes it resilient. It makes the resource resilient, and it's a great example for everywhere else in Florida. I mean, one thing that we know about in Florida is population growth, and we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it from a conservation standpoint, and Tampa Bay has always been a good example of that.
I think that's one of the things people miss the most. When we get in my ears, whether I'm doing the radio shows or I'm at a seminar, you get people barking about, we're too strict, we're too strict, we're too strict. I don't think people put the amount of people that use the estuary into the equation. that's something that we have to pay attention to. But with CCA and their great efforts, we'll keep a handle on it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well said, both of you guys. And Mike, a couple things before we let you go to bed. I get to see some of the comments that are coming through here, and one of them is Mike's bidding is taking off. Y'all quit. That is my trip. Sorry to call you out, Nicole, but
well, and I'm gonna do exactly what Blair did. All the money from my trip, everything goes to CCA.
Wow.
So I hope everybody gets on board with this. We'll make it a heck of a day. We've got great fishing here. We've got some great restaurants. So, we'll fish in the morning. We'll catch a grouper sandwich at one of the local restaurants on the water, and then we'll fish the afternoon. We'll make it a great day for you. Please open your wallets and become a part of, helping our estuary stay afloat. Like I said, I want my grandkids to be able to enjoy it as much as I have, and their kids and grandkids as well.
Well, thank you, Mike. You're such a great supporter. And why don't you tell everybody where they can catch you both on the radio and on television?
Well, we're on the TV side. We're on World Fishing Network right now, second and third quarters. We're on Fox Sun Sports. Obviously, we get to air there year round. They move our time slots around a little bit. They're on Fox Sun Sports, but pretty easy to catch. If you just DVR Real Animals, that would be great. We'd appreciate that for sure. As a matter of fact, we've got an episode coming in early July that I shot with Captain Lionel James up in Destin. That was probably one of my favorite shoots in the 14 years I've been filming. Let me tell you what, that Captain Lionel James, his smile and his energy is infectious. I love fishing with that guy. That's another trip. If you're thinking about bidding on that trip, I fished with that cat. He is bad. Do not arm wrestle him. Listen, I'm in the gym all the time, and I was like, I'm not arm wrestling that dude right there. So get you some with Lionel James. If you're up there in the Panhandle and you want to bid, I'm telling you, that dude is energy. You will have a blast. He's a great fisherman. That's an incredible fishery up there as well. Check it out. On the radio side, you can check us out on iHeartRadio, 970 WFLA and 95.3 WDAE Saturday and Sunday mornings. Check us out. Everything's on the website at realanimals.com.
Thank you, Mike. You're the man, buddy. And again, thank you for your life membership as well.
You bet. I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work. And as always, let me know what I can do to help.
Sleep good, Captain. My friend. Sweet dreams. He's just awesome. And he's the nicest guy. I mean, he's big as a mountain, but he's just as kind, as gentle as ever. And we can't thank him enough. So let's keep on moving. This next artist, I tell you what, JD, this artist is just so incredible. Her medium is wood, and the things that she does are just incredible. And I follow her on social media, and I saw this particular piece came up in it when I knew we were doing this event. I was like, even though she's come to some of our banquets and donated some pieces, I was like, we got to get her in this. And I never said I wanted that piece or anything, but Amanda, one of our regional directors, reached out to her, and lo and behold, she shoots an email with this piece. And I'm like, that's the one I wanted. So I'm going to be bidding on this one. It's just incredible. But before we show it to you, let's hear from Mookie Burns.
Hi, my name is Sam Hansen, and I'm the wood burning artist behind my business, Mookie Burns, out of Fort Myers. Since I was a kid growing up in Jacksonville Beach, I was always drawing, especially anything that swam in the ocean. It just wasn't until much later in life that I discovered my medium, and that was wood. First time I ever tried wood burning, I was instantly hooked, and I just haven't stopped since. Living in Fort Myers has brought me constant inspiration for my artwork. We both love fishing around here, and whenever there's a great day with a great catch, I'm instantly imagining how I can depict that moment and share it with others through my art. I prep all the wood canvases myself, and I just love creating new innovative ways to use and display each piece. I think that that's kind of half the fun for me.
That's
Isn't
super
that
cool. You've been talking about it for a couple weeks, but that's the first time I've had put my eyes on it. And what a super creative medium, very unique. We're lucky to have that piece.
Yes, and Moki, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, but I got it right that time. It's item 39, and I think we've got a picture of it, do we not? Oh, no, it's just in the video. It's the sailfish. You can see it in GiveSmart. It's item number 39, and actually, there it is. But, you know, it's incredible. Please don't bid on it. I want to. But thank you very much, Moki,
Brian.
I'm going to quit.
Get him a cheat sheet.
Well, I got the cheat sheet. I just can't pronounce it. But no, thank you very much. That's a beautiful piece. As I said, it's one of my favorites in the entire show. Want to thank all of our people, and I'll just go with Samantha Hansen. That's her
there she is.
Her given name. I understand that. Say it for me.
Moki.
Thank you.
Moki. Wow.
Was a nickname that her father gave her. So, Sam, we appreciate you, and I will be bidding on this piece. It's just incredible.
Thank you, Moki.
Yes. All right, and that getting close to wrapping things up here. We're running a little bit over time, but I think we're all having fun. But we've got a lot of upcoming CCA events that I'm going to tell you about real quick. First of all is the Flow Grown 5K for CCA. This is our first virtual 5K run. It runs from June 1st to the 8th. So you still have a few more days to get out there, get registered. It's $40, and you get a custom Flow Grown 5K for CCA t-shirt. And then you just record your times and you submit them. You'll get once you register, you'll get a link where you can post your time, and we'll have random drawings for winners for multiple different prizes. So pretty neat. Get in shape while you're out there. I know I need to. I'm going to try it, but I was going to see if I could get away with doing it on a golf cart, but I don't know if Adam's going to let me do that. Speaking of Adam, he put this
Adam
great
here with the Coastal Conservation Association of Florida. I'm getting ready for the Flow Grown 5K for CCA, a 500 fun run supporting Florida's marine resources. Of course, with everything going on, this will be a virtual run, which means you can run on your own time, at your own pace, wherever you like to run. You can run in your neighborhood, at the beach, on a treadmill, wherever you like. Plus, all runners will receive a custom shirt from our friends at Flow Grown. So check it out. Get registered, throw on your running shoes, and help support and conserve Florida's marine resources. The Flow Grown 5K for CCA.
I didn't know that Adam has his own film crew now.
Great job, Adam. But yeah, it's something different, something neat. So participate. You're going to get that custom T-shirt, and we can't wait to see your submissions. And don't forget to tag CCA as well. 5K for CCA, or Flow Grown 5K for CCA. Moving on, we've got now this is a virtual event as well, JD, but this is not something new to CCA. We started this last year. Amanda Kirpin, our Panhandle Regional Director, put this together last year. It's the CCA Florida Virtual Trash Tournament. It runs from June 6th to the 13th, and all you have to do is get registered for free, and then you collect at least a 5-gallon bucket of trash, and you submit that through the smartphone app, and then we'll pick random winners for prizes. And we want to thank our good friends at Costa Sunglasses for supporting this initiative. Once again, we all know that they're very involved with cleaning up the oceans and waterways with their Kick Plastic campaign, and we're proud to be partners with them on that campaign.
Awesome.
Yes. Next, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the big daddy right here. The These are your star dates. I think most everybody knows that we had to push back the start of it to July 1st. It's going to run through October 4th. Registration is open throughout the tournament, so you can join anytime. However, we recommend you do that now, and now it couldn't be any simpler. All you have to do is go to that silent auction and click on either item number 501 or 505, and you can either become a member and register at the same time. Or if you're already a member, go to 501 and just click it, add to your cart, and you're done and you're registered for Star, because we do have lots of prizes even before the tournament starts. If you catch a tagged redfish from a previous year, you win a $1,000 Engle prize package. And then during the tournament, we've got 17 divisions, most of which the winners are determined by a random drawing. We've got almost $500,000 worth of prizes we're going to give away, including a guaranteed $100,000 in college scholarships for the youth division. The app is now available. It became available on June 1st, as well as the practice tournament. You can participate in that. The measuring devices that a lot of people are asking about will be available at all your local tackle shops, but also West Marine and Academy stores on June 19th. Those measuring devices will be available, and you have to have the 2020 measuring device in order for your fish to be eligible. And also to promote Star, every Wednesday from here on out, we are going to continue our Star Search. Star Search is streamed on Facebook just like we are tonight, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we're going to focus each week on different divisions. Like I said, we've got 17 different divisions. So stay tuned for Star. Get registered. Don't be that angler that catches that tagged redfish and misses out on a brand new Contender, Pathfinder, or Hughes boat, motor, and trailer package.
You got to be in it to win it.
Absolutely. What else have we got up on the agenda? We've got Father's Day. Hopefully Kelly and Carly are watching this one. Hopefully Maggie and the kids are watching it down there with you, JD. But Father's Day is coming up on June 21st. And what better than all the items that you see in this silent auction to buy for that favorite dad in your life. And for those fathers that have everything, the perfect gift for those, JD, is what? A life membership.
Life membership.
Favorite.
Or if you're already a life member, a heritage membership.
There
or if you're
you
already
go.
a heritage member, a legacy membership.
Absolutely. So your life member promo that we have right now, it's $1,000 to become a life member. It's item number 500 in your silent auction. If you become a life member, you get to choose one of these fabulous gifts here. We've got a Traeger tailgate grill. We've got the Engel soft-sided HD30 cooler bag, the best cooler bag I've ever used. And then you've got the Ruger 380 concealed carry pistol. So a lot of great items to choose from for the life member promo. Let's make that a life member for Father's Day. Well, JD, we're getting close, buddy. We have a few more originals that we have in the studio that we want to show. And then we'll draw our raffle winners and we'll let everybody go to bed. But the first one, JD, is from Thomas Brooks. And this was painted specifically for the Orlando chapter banquet back in 1994.
Whoa, way back.
It has been hanging on our wall. This is one of my favorite pieces that we have. Dan's tried to sell it many times, and I wouldn't let him, and he convinced me to put it in this auction. So it is a one of a kind, and it's just incredible. Whew. The
Back
next
FCA.
Yes. Yeah, FCA, exactly. The next one is a beautiful framed and matted original from Herb Booth, who has been a supporter of CCA Florida, CCA Texas. This was donated to us by our good friend and life member, Carrie Kresge. Unfortunately, her booth isn't with us anymore, but this particular piece comes with a signed Sporting Traditions book, as well as 2 artist-proof and personally signed small paintings by Herb. So, again, another once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own an original piece from Herb booth. And this is a very unique piece. I know turtles are very popular right now. This is from artist Dan Goad. It's an original as well, and features the turtle there. It was donated to our Treasure Coast chapter banquet, and it is up for bid and could go home with anybody out there. You got the grouper there at the bottom looking up. What a great, unique piece that is. Thank you, Gretchen. And one more we want to show you. And this one's cool, guys and girls. You'll see that it looks like there's lines down the middle. Well, it's actually 3 sections of canvas that this was painted on. This particular redfish was painted by Ed Anderson. He is an artist that is partnered up with Realtree Outdoors, one of our big sponsors, both on the CCA side and Star side. But looky there, it's a CCA Florida tagged redfish. And this painting was painted live at the Icast 2018 and donated to CCA Florida. So it's really, really unique. It's cool. Another one that I hate to see go because it looks so good hanging here in the office. But that kind of wraps it up for our original artwork. There's much, much more to see in the silent auction. And remember, as JD mentioned, the auction continues until Sunday at 8 p.m. Sunday night. So continue to share the post, continue to share the feed, and get your friends involved for some of these unique opportunities.
Yeah.
JD, should we give some raffle prizes away?
Yeah. Everyone always loves to get a raffle prize at the end of the night.
You can't have a CCA.
We got 3 winners. We
do. Who are they?
I got Kevin Santos, Debbie Casiato, and Manny Aldrich Altman. I hope I pronounced those things correctly. I'm glad Brian didn't read it.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't either. And again, Sam, I apologize. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun night. Yeah, we're going to bring whoever we have left in. We got Blair. He's hanging in there.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Blair.
So this is our sign off. So I'll let you guys go ahead and have some closing words.
I just want to thank everyone for joining tonight. This is kind of our second entree in the virtual sort of fundraiser world, which everyone is sort of trying to get to know right now, since CCA's normal spring banquet schedule has been interrupted a little bit. I got to tell you, I had a lot of fun talking to Captain Blair and Mike Anderson and all the other folks, as well as learning about some of the artwork that we saw tonight, much of which was incredibly unique, very, very hard to find. So appreciate everyone's support of CCA. Get out there, go fishing, start to think about how we can make our coastal resources better so our kids and grandkids can enjoy it the way that we have.
JD, Brian, Gretchen, thanks you guys. Y'all did a great job. This is my first virtual auction, I guess you'd call it. But hey, great job. You guys did great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Gretchen.
We got some more social media sort of pictures.
I've never seen you speechless before. I got you twice.
I can't see myself. They turned it around. I didn't know it was up. Thanks for having me. It's always great to be part of this whole association, and always really thankful that you guys always have me. And I'm here to always help raise a lot of money. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Gretchen.
We're glad to have you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for joining us. Captain Blair, we appreciate all you do from the fishery side as well as the habitat side. And on behalf of all of our staff, our board. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Thank everybody for bidding, and please, be generous. These are tough times. I know they're tough times for a lot of people as well, but thank you very much. And we'll all get through this together, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
Take care.
See you on the water.
Yes, sir.
Thank you like 8 times.
Shit.